This episode is about reasoning properly from effects to causes. In Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding, Hume gives an example of what bad reasoning in this area looks like. Some people look at the world, which is the effect in this example, and logically infer that it must have some cause behind it, which they call God. And that is logical. But when they go further and assume that this God must be perfectly good, they go beyond the evidence. The effect in front of us is a world mixed with good and evil, so it's irrational to infer from that effect a cause that is perfectly good. As Hume puts it, we have no ground to ascribe to God any qualities but what you see God has actually exerted and displayed in his productions. This example is a lead-in to the principle that I want to focus on in this episode. Do not exaggerate causes from effects. Hume writes, when we infer any particular cause from an effect, we must proportion the one to the other, and can never be allowed to ascribe to the cause any qualities but what are exactly sufficient to produce the effect. This insight has many applications to other aspects of life. One clear applicable example is when we fail. Whether it's a failure at work, in a relationship, or in anything else, our immediate reaction can be the thought, I am a failure. But using Hume's insight, we can see that the effect, which is the instance of failure in this case, does not necessarily mean that the cause is that we're a failure or incapable of succeeding. There can be a variety of causes, such as a lack of preparation, lack of experience, or just an unlucky break. By seeing failure analytically this way, it can help us learn from it rather than be crushed by it. Hume writes, when we infer any particular cause from an effect, we must proportion the one to the other. In other words, to jump from one instance of failure to the thought, I am a failure, is to infer a cause out of proportion with the effect, and is an illogical conclusion. Hume's insight also has a clear application to investing in the stock market. If we see a stock go down, which is the effect, we should try and figure out the cause of the decline. And if the effect, which again is the decline, is out of proportion with the cause, then it can help us see that the stock is being priced at a bargain. For example, if a company has a bad earnings report and declines by 10%, we should seek to understand whether the cause, which in this case is the one bad earnings report, justifies such a large decline. If we judge that it does not, then clearly we have an opportunity for investment. Hume's broader point is that when we infer a cause through observable effects, we should attribute to that cause only what is needed to explain the effects actually in front of us. In his own formula, we must proportion the one to the other. Anything beyond that is conjecture, not knowledge. So in theology, Hume's point is that we may infer intelligence from the order of the world, but we cannot logically jump from a mixed and imperfect world to an infinitely perfect cause. In the failure example, the same principle helps keep us going, because one instance of failure should not be exaggerated to thinking that we're a failure. And in investing, if a stock's sharp decline is out of proportion to the cause we identify, seeing that gap between the cause and the effect that is out of proportion with that cause can help us stay disciplined and make money while others panic. These are just several simple examples, but there are many applications of this principle, and let me know in the comments other specific ways in which you think this can be applied to your life.